I'm Daniel Berlant in the Cal Fire Information Center. A red flag warning issued by the National Weather Service remains in effect across much of Northern California due to critical fire weather. That red flag warning stretches all the way really from the Oregon border down in through the Sierra foothills and even into the South Bay throughout the Bay Area. So that red flag warning in effect due to strong winds as well as low humidity. You combine that with the dry conditions and fire danger is elevated across much of this area. So much of the North Coast, you can see there are at the higher elevations just a scattering of where this red flag warning takes effect. But it's really the bulk of this warning stretches all the way from Shasta County. I'll zoom in just a little bit more here. You can see Shasta County down through much of Northern California, through Chico, through Yuba City, through Grass Valley. You've got much of the Sierra foothill just to the west of Lake Tahoe and the Sierra, all the way down into Tuolumne. So just before you get to the Yosemite region, even portions of Alpine under this red flag warning. And then over in the west, this red flag warning stretching all the way from Sonoma and the North Bay Mountains through the East Bay Hills and down into the Santa Cruz Mountains, as I mentioned, all the way down practically to the border of Santa Clara County. So a big portion of Northern California has already been experiencing winds. And let's show you some of those winds when what we're talking about here. You can see up here, even in the North Coast, some areas may see winds up to 40 to 50 mile an hour, even up to 60 miles an hour on some of the ridge tops and the canyon. So very, very strong winds. Down in the North Bay, you can see some darker yellow. That darker yellow is where we hit 40, even up to 50 mile an hour winds. So very, very strong winds. Now, overnight, the winds were strong. This morning, you may have woken up and not seen the winds that we had yesterday, but the winds are expected to start picking back up throughout Thursday and into Thursday night. That's when we'll really see the peak of these winds in Northern California. But again, this red flag warning extending all the way to Friday morning. Now, as I mentioned, a second red flag warning has been issued down in Southern California for the Los Angeles County mountains as well as the Ventura County mountains, including the Santa Clarita Valley. So you can see it just stretches right here. It does not include the Santa Monica Mountains. So it is just this northern tip of those two counties, but it extends all the way into the Inland Empire, capturing the San Bernardino Mountains, the Santa Ana Mountains over in Orange and Riverside counties, and then again much of the Inland Empire below the Cajon Pass under this red flag warning. In Southern California, this red flag warning goes in effect 3 a.m. on Friday, extending through 6 p.m. So much of Friday will be in a heightened fire risk in the LA basin. Again, in these areas that are in red, we could see gusts 35 to 45 mile an hour winds. Looking here at the National Weather Service wind gust forecast, you can see, especially up here in Ventura County, where we could see winds of over 45, even maybe 50 mile an hour, some of these higher elevations. So these are kind of the key areas where that wind is going to be the highest level. But you combine that with the low humidity and the dry conditions, and that elevates our fire risk. So what can you do during these red flag warnings? It is critical that everyone not only be prepared, but to take steps to prevent sparking a wildfire. Any outdoor activities could cause a fire if you're not careful. It is so essential that you make sure you're doing your part to prevent sparking a fire. To learn more steps on what you can do to not only be prepared, but again, to prevent a fire, visit readyforwildfire.org. So again, a red flag warning across much of Northern California in effect now. Please take steps to be prepared. In Southern California, that red flag warning for Friday.